Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. It's my pleasure to have back with us once again Kevin Kerr. Kevin, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Good to be back. Thanks.
Good. Kevin, listen, what's going on out there? Our nation's unleaders are trying to tell us that we can't be online with new oil 15 years and the price only dropped 2 cents and it's so terrible, why even bother?
Yeah, everybody's arguing over who's caused all this, but nobody has any answers, except there are answers and nobody wants to take action. So,
well, I think that's part of the problem, though, isn't it? I mean, for crying out loud, we haven't had answers for, 30 years now, and they still don't have answers? Right?
Probably not for another 30 years, unfortunately. We don't have that long.
Help us all is what I say, please. I don't know what we're going to do. It's amazing to me, by a simple pull of the lever, we can change out the guard, and why America doesn't do it is beyond my belief, okay? Here we are at a point where we need to really get serious about what's going on out there, and we got nothing but a bunch of bickering going on at the federal level, and they don't have answers, and answers they do have, in my opinion, is total BS. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just more the same, I mean, if somebody would come out and say what actually needs to be said, look, and this is just my opinion, but right. I'm entitled to it, and that is, the idea of not drilling offshore, the idea of not drilling in ANWR, the minute you start talking about doing those things, people, environmental lobby, they get all crazy.
Listen, their panties get all in a bunch. I can't take it. We have to be serious about what's going on here, and you're on my show, so it's safe. You can say whatever you want.
Thank God. Well,
that's correct.
This is a national emergency, and I don't mean that to be hyperbole. 4 or 5 years ago, when we said this, people were like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And now here we are, and crude oil's traded today at $142. I'm looking at the screen right now.
Yeah.
That translates into $6 and $7 gasoline if this sustains this way for any period of time. I'm looking at heating oil prices doubling for this winter. Families are going to go bankrupt. They're going to be broke.
Kevin, America's going to have to wake up. We're not going to be able to afford a soup line.
It's insane. There won't be a soup line because the other problem we got are the food prices. They're going bananas as well. So, between that and the fuel cost and the gas cost, choosing $100 to fill up your car,
right,
and twice as much for heating oil, people are just hurt.
We need some action on the stimulus level like they did with the checks. They were able to get that all the way through rather quickly. We don't have years. We have to do this in months, and America better wake up, or they're going to be marching on Washington. If you ask my opinion, Kevin.
Well, it's true, and all of these things can be done intelligently, and it's going to take some time, though. You don't just stick a pipe in the ground in the ocean,
right,
or in the ANWR and find oil like today.
Right.
It's going to take 3, 4, 5 years at least.
Right. Now,
so, we need to move now. We don't have, if we wait 5 years and argue about it in court or in the Congress, it's going to be, geez.
Forget it, 30 years. Obama says we're going to be set, we'll be okay in 2030. Thank you very much, okay? I think we're going to be back in the Stone Age by 2030 if we don't get our act together today, okay? Those aren't the words that I want to hear. I do not want to hear 2030 out of anybody's mouth to solve this, okay? All right. Now, OPEC's president says crude oil prices could be as high as $170 a barrel this year. And Libya said that they may cut oil production. Does Libya produce enough to really be effective in that statement? Or
well, we know that we need every drop we can get, but what really appalled me about that is they're starting to make demands. We're like the rag doll. I was pretty embarrassed when President Bush went over there, begged for oil, and then they gave him basically like a bone to take home.
That's right.
And the bottom line is now Libya's saying, well, now we want you to remove our status as a terrorist harboring state.
Everything is blackmail. Listen, Kevin.
Yes, but they're starting to blackmail us.
Of course, because
ridiculous.
Because we pay. Listen, all you have to do is blow up your nuke site, and we'll take you off the terrorist list. Kevin, can you stay with us? Kevin, can you?
Yeah, I sure can.
All right, good. We're going to go to a break. It's a little bit on the longer side because we got bills to pay. Kevin Kerr's with us here today. We're talking about oil. On the other side, we're going to figure out if there's a solution. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are tuning in to Traders Nation. We have Kevin Kerr with us here today. Kevin, I'm taking the gloves off. We've got to get serious about this. The weak dollar's not helping anything, but let's get back to OPEC. We talked about Libya. OPEC says, you know what? Hey, it could be worse. It could be $170 a barrel, and I hope you don't like it.
Yeah, let's face it. These are not our friends.
They're not our friends.
They're not all broken up that we have enough oil.
They're not losing
quite
sleep.
frankly, it begs a question. Do they have any extra oil to pump? They keep saying they have all this extra. Plus, it's that heavy sour crude that we can't really use anyway. So this is not a good situation.
Right. No, I agree. And in fact, some even say in the Middle East that they got tankers out there waiting. They don't have customers for the heavy crude. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. There just isn't the refineries that can handle it. I mean, they got plenty of that stuff floating around out there.
Sure.
But the light sweet stuff that we need is just not available.
Hey, light sweet is always good for me, no matter if it's oil or beer, is what I say. All right, let's talk about the weaker dollar. Of course, that's not helping things either. And the Feds indicate this week that they're done cutting rates, which probably rightfully so. We've got to get our inflation in check. But it's not helping out the oil situation, is it?
Oh, no. When you have the weaker dollar, commodities go up. And you could have just written the script for this one. When they didn't raise, some of these people were hoping that they would get a quarter point out of the Fed. Look, it's an election year. The economy is horrific.
Sure.
People are losing their jobs right and left. The Fed is not about to raise rates right now. And a lot of people think it's going to come in August. Personally, I don't even think it's going to come this year. I think it's going to come the first part of the new year after the election.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect a rate rise until, January or February, whenever they meet again in the new year.
All right, into the new year. All right, so what do we do as far as the dollar is concerned? What should people really be concerned about when it comes to inflation? Of course, it's the cost of goods and everything going up. Is there any protection there?
Yeah, the traditional protection in the commodities is gold, and it's been exploding the last couple of days. It's up $40, up another $11, $12 today.
Sure.
So, we've seen a lot of that flight to the gold. You got to be careful. The dollar is way oversold here. The Europeans may have to do something with their currency or leave it sit where it is rather than talk about all this rate hiking they may do. They got the same problems we have.
Right.
So, you got to be a little cautious here because gold is on quite a tear, and the dollar has been pummeled.
Yeah.
But, that's the play. That's the traditional play, and right now it's working. So I would be careful, and oil too.
All right. Do you see the dollar regaining its strength anytime soon, maybe in the next year or so? Can we look forward to that, or what?
Yeah, I think you will begin to see a turnaround as we head through the election and into the new year, because obviously by then it'll be completely decimated if we continue to get these employment numbers and inflation numbers as they ramp up, and it's going to be a devastating winter for everyone.
Kevin, you know what I say? Let's do a reverse split on the dollar. Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not a bad bet. It's true.
You think we should do a reverse split? What do you think? A 1,000 to 1 reverse split, or 100 to 1?
1,000 to 1. Yeah. And the way this volatility is, and where the dollar sits right now, technically and fundamentally, all bets are off. It's just there's no way of knowing for sure how far and fast it could go. Either way, actually.
All right, Kevin. Where can we find you at? Where's the website?
You can visit my blog or my website at kerrtrade.com. That's KERRTRADE.com.
Nice. And that's kerrtrade.com once again, folks, and that's KERRTRADE.com. Kevin Kerr's with us today. As always, Kevin, appreciate your time and your expertise, if you will. Thanks for being on Traders Nation. All right.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Up next, Tony Turner, best-selling book author, is going to be with us, and we're going to get to her book, Short-Term Trading. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.